So on the county line, we'll introduce you to an Army sergeant who is making the transition from military to motherhood.
In County Close-Up, Kirsten Guidas will talk with State Representative Frank Lagrada about gaming in Pennsylvania.
And Sebastian Driver Salazar gives us an inside look at the Westminster swim team fresh off their PAC championship.
We're live.
We're local.
The county line starts now. It's a hero's homecoming. Just hours ago, people lined the streets of Hermitage to welcome home the Battery A members of the National Guard's 107th Field Artillery Unit. The 125 members were in Iraq for over a year. Coming up, we'll take you to the emotional reunion between friends and family. Good evening and welcome to the County Line. I'm Elizabeth Farry.
And I'm Pat Sandora. It was all hugs and kisses today as friends and family welcomed their troops home in Hermitage. The County Line's Elena Schuring was there for all the smiles and tears at this long overdue reunion.
Spending over a year away from family and friends, the troops arrived here at Hermitage Armory today to open arms.
And there's people lined up all the way to 18 to here. And then when we got here, there's the majority of the people were here, so it was really overwhelming.
Loved ones and onlookers anxiously waited throughout the afternoon for the soldiers' return. Even before the buses pulled in, emotions were high.
This has been such an emotional roller coaster. It's been, he's been hurt, and it's just, I'm so thankful that he's coming home.
Such excitement. Oh, I'm shivering all over. I just can't explain it. It's been so long, such a long year.
Nervous energy right now. It's been a long 14 months, and we're just happy to have them all back.
I just can't wait to see him. It's been a long time. I'm just glad he made it back safely. So a lot of emotions over the last year and that, but I'm glad they're all back.
After an emotional homecoming, returning soldiers will finally get to spend a night at home. For the County Line, I'm Elena Schuring.
A similar scene occurred nearly a year ago when members of the Army Reserve's 326th Quartermaster came home. That unit was in Iraq 14 months providing clean water supplies. Family and friends met the troops at Union High School in Lawrence County.
Many soldiers say their family is what they miss most while they're away. Pulaski resident Jennifer Hamila Anusko was working as a military police officer in Iraq last year, leaving her military husband, who was not called to duty, behind. The County Line's Heather Storm spoke with the sergeant about her time in Baghdad without her husband and her new adventure as a mom-to-be.
I'm about to go inside and meet Jennifer Hamila Onuska, who served as a military Army police officer in Iraq, and now she's preparing for her life as a new mom.
My husband and I both thought we would be both deployed since we had always did everything together. It ended up that they had chose me to go, and he was released from having to go at least then to Iraq. So we had to prepare to separate from each other. And knew that I could be deployed and then return home, and he could be deployed in the process too, leaving as much to 3 years not being together. We decided, we had to cancel our wedding. That was for the following August, and it was the day before I left. I had just received word the day before that I was leaving, and my husband said, "Do you want to get married tomorrow?" I said, "Sure." So we went to Justice of Peace, got married in Clarion, Pennsylvania, and I left the very next morning. This photograph is one of many. I had, without communication with my husband, Steve. I would make these little notes just on any kind of cardboard I could find or a piece of garbage. I'd take black magic marker and I would write signs to him to either send if we were able to get to a computer and send it through a digital camera, or I saved a lot of these and surprised him with a anniversary card once I returned home. I am expecting middle of May of 2005. When I told my Iraqi friends that I was having a baby, they were just well delighted, and they asked if I knew if it was a boy or girl, and I said a girl. And they said, "Are you going to let her join the Army too, like you?" And I said, "That's a good question." I said, "You might see a little one in the future," and they got a good kick out of that. So.
Such a cute story. It's so great to hear stories like that.
I know. I love that it's so local. It really brings everything kind of close to home.
Exactly. Nice homecoming.
Definitely.
It's nice homecoming. Well, now we'll check in with this week's top local stories.
Amanda Hogger has this week's 88.9 on the county line.
Titan Radio Digital 88.9 News brings you local news now.
Good evening. I'm Amanda Hogger with this week's top stories from Titan Radio News on 89 FM. A Westminster college student is getting ready to head to Iraq. A sophomore transfer student from California, Benjamin Payne, will head to Iraq in March. The college will grant Payne military release from his classes until he returns to school. He will serve in active duty from 6 months to a year. Younger students may soon be required to show their patriotism in the classroom. Under a new bill, the state would insist public schools start off the day with either the Pledge of Allegiance or the national anthem. Private and religious schools, however, would be exempt from this. Lawrence County District Attorney Matt Mangino is concerned about educating local residents of the dangers of drugs and alcohol by opening another branch of the DA's Resource Center. The new center will open next week in Elwood City. These centers provide the community with information along with the locations of local treatment facilities. While the district attorney's office is trying to help locals, the federal government wants to tax grant money given to flood victims. Governor Ed Rendell is asking the government to reconsider the idea, calling it illogical. Those flood grants were available to several counties throughout the state, including Lawrence County. That was your 89 on the county line, and to keep up to date every day, tune into Titan Radio for continuous news coverage. More County Line is on the way.
Wintry weather usually means good news for local car washes, but one car wash in Grove City is causing some water problems for other businesses. Several businesses, including a fireworks retailer, contacted the Springfield Township Water Company earlier this month. Apparently, the new car wash is expected to use up all of the remaining sewer resources in the township.
Melting snow can sometimes lead to flooding and other water issues, but there's one place in our area that thrives when the water's high. The County Line's Stevie Nelson visited a local watering hole that's come to be a tradition for the locals.
Bringing jugs just like these come from all over the area to do just this. They say it's worth going the extra mile to get good, free drinking water.
I've been coming here for 20 years.
Is there something about the water?
Oh yeah, it's spring water. I have a spring myself, but I worry about it because it's a type that can get contaminated, and we just use it for just doing things like bathing, clothing, and things like that. We use the drinking water.
While some people are stocking up on their water, others only stop by to fill their canteens for a quick drink. How long have you been coming here for the water?
As long as I've been alive.
Really?
Yeah.
So what's special about this water here?
Tasty and cold. It's right on the way. There's old train tracks around here we ride on all the time. And it's right on the way to the train tracks, so it's always a nice place to get a drink on the way. A couple hours on the train tracks riding.
What kind of water do you have at home?
Just a well. Doesn't taste very good. Not good at all.
Steve Minozzi comes all the way from Mercer to get water for his family.
Yeah. Actually, I'm here because my wife likes this water. She used to buy water all the time, and I said, why do you buy water when I can go to Leesburg Falls and get it for free? So I did, and I spoiled her, and now this is all she'll drink.
A man from Hermitage fills up as much as he can haul.
I've only got 32 gallons today. I usually get about 60 gallons. But I have some stuff in my truck, and I don't have enough room for it.
From jugs to bottles, it seems like this is the locals' favorite watering hole.
Popular place, especially because the falls is, right here, so people get a drink and they go over to see the falls, take a walk in the woods.
Whether you come with jugs, bottles, or on horseback, everyone leaves this Leesburg spring with their thirst quenched. From Leesburg, I'm Stevie Nelson for the County Line.
If you're looking for a drink with a little more kick, our on-the-road team found the perfect spot for you. This week, Mike and Aiden are right here in New Wilmington at a place serving up more than just a good cup of joe.
Welcome to On the Road. I'm Aiden.
And I'm Mike.
And as you can see, Mike is in dire need of a caffeine fix. So we decided to drive down the road to Muggsy's right here in New Wilmington. They say that they have a lot of coffee and a lot of caffeine. So let's see if we can find something to help Mike. Muggsy's is the most modern thing to hit New Wilmington since running water. It's a unique gathering place that offers leather couches and tables to gather around while you relax, sip on your coffee, and have a nice little Danish or drink or something that you might have that Muggsy's offers. They also have the wireless internet, and sometimes they offer bands so you can come here for live entertainment. Mike, I brought you some coffee.
Oh, you brought me coffee?
Yep.
All right, excellent.
Give that a
wake
try.
Me up a little bit, maybe?
Let's hope so.
Ah, that's good.
What kind is it, Mike?
You know, I really don't know what kind. They have so many flavors here, I can't keep track of them all.
Because I told him to surprise me, so.
You told him to surprise you?
Yeah, so hopefully it doesn't have anything that you're allergic to in there.
I hope
that would be good.
I hope not. Let's go talk to the manager, Molly Stevens, and see what flavor it is.
We have featured coffee every day, a flavor and dark roasts and light roasts, so lots of coffee. We have the world's best hot chocolate. It's even on our sign. We have lots of other drinks. We have milkshakes, fruit, smoothies. We have something for everybody here.
So that's it for this week. I think that they gave Mike enough.
Yeah, it was real good. It was real good. A lot of coffee here. A lot of coffee. Lots of different flavors, lots of coffee. We're going on the road next week. We're going again on the road next week.
Mike, go run around or something.
Go run around, okay.
So just so you know, next week we'll be going on the road.
Great for the economy, just good for the area.
I think it's great. We need more jobs to come to this area. A lot of people are out of work. I think it would cut down on the robberies and the break-ins, and it would we need more attractions to this area, bring more jobs.
I really wouldn't want it there. There's too much that can go wrong, and I don't know, I never really thought about it before, but I'd rather not have it there.
I wouldn't mind it because I feel a large percent of the population is driving to West Virginia, and we might as well keep the money here.
I think it's awesome. It's really a good thing. I think it'll pull more people into Lawrence County and give more jobs. So I think it's really good.
I'm in favor of it. I wish I was able to see that original presentation that Mr. Schick did.
I don't know, the casino, I'm in favor of that, but I'd like to have a racetrack there. I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't care whether it's cars or horses.
I'm not against it because it's a branch of entertainment that I even enjoy watching other people do, you know, and that's it.
And they're off in a race to build a racino. That's a combination of a racetrack and a casino together. And right now, state law says that only one can be built in this area. Tonight's County Close-Up will introduce you to a local Lawrence County man who has a big dream. He wants to bring in a 550-acre, multi-million-dollar racino just north of Newcastle. His name is Carmen Schick, and he's the president of Bedford Downs. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight.
It's a real pleasure, Kat.
Well, what we wanted to first talk about was you want to bring in a lot of jobs. What I heard in an AP Wire story was that you wanted to bring in 700. Is that an accurate statement?
700 jobs will be created just by the racetrack itself without the gaming casino and the hotel. Mountaineer currently employs approximately 2,300 people with the racino they have and the hotel. It won't take us very long to be in excess of 2,000 people.
So tell me this. as college students, we want to know, would we have jobs in the near future working at the Racino?
I guess the answer should be yes, and it definitely is yes.
Good.
There
Well,
will
that's
be
good to know.
many opportunities.
More than hospitality jobs, is there PR and management and other things to do?
Potentially, yes.
Great. Well, tell me this. About a month ago, we actually went to your meeting about right on your site, and we kind of want to know a little bit more about your master plan. What do you envision for Bedford Downs?
Well, if we're successful, Bedford Downs will be the premier harness racing facility in the country.
Tell me a little bit about Centaur Incorporated. They also have a bid to get a Racino started. They might not have as good of a package deal as you have. Can you tell me a little bit more about what you're offering to the community?
Well, we are a local company. We were all born and raised here. We're local people. We have the 1 mile track, which gives us the ability to host the Hamiltonian, the Breeders' Crown races, the national harness racing events, which can only be run on a mile track. Centaur does not have the ability to bring that to the table. In addition to that, they're an out-of-state corporation in the state of Indiana.
You've got 550 beautiful acres to put this on. I want to know, what's so important about this area? I mean, has it been pre-zoned? What's so great about this area that you have?
Well, the area we have is part of our family's original homestead, settled approximately at the turn of the century. Through no help of our own, I mean, my ancestors just settled in the right area. Demographically, there's 6.5 million people within 75 miles of us. We're in a great location for a Racino complex. We open up New York, Western Pennsylvania, the Cuyahoga Valley in Ohio, and parts of West Virginia within easy travel to our site.
So now, as you saw in the county comment, most people seem very favorable about this. What do you say to those cynics against having racing in just close up to us, as in the area of Newcastle? What do you say about that?
Well, I think most of the issue is encompassed in the gaming issues. The Commonwealth has passed slots. If it doesn't come here, it'll definitely come in Beaver. My opinion is it's better to have a local corporation than somebody from out of state with their own needs. I mean, this is who we are. This is where we live. I mean, everything it generates stays here with us, and it does not go to some other state in the Union.
How important is it to have the casino attached to the horse racing venue?
Well, I think it's very important. One of the things we want to try to do is interest the people that come to play the slots in the racing. And to do that, we need to get them interested in the horse race. And as such, most of our food service will be in the grandstand area. When people are hungry, they'll have to be exposed to the horse racing when they eat.
Absolutely. So there's no plans to just do a casino or just do horse racing. You've got to have them together.
Yes, the casino pays the bills. The slots pay the bills.
So you've got less than 30 seconds probably. Tell me a little bit more about, if you were going to tell people in a few words why you think this is a very important thing to do for the community, tell us a little bit more about that.
Just the total amount of jobs, 2,000 jobs midway through the construction sequence, upper management to concessions, excellent tax revenue for the state, $32 million more per year than our competitors in Chippewa every year.
So really, in large part, this is going to be a very big economic boost for the area.
Well, I think my brother said it best. My little brother, he said, wow, he says, it'd be just like having a little steel mill in the backyard. And yeah, in a way, yes, many, many jobs.
Many jobs.
Good jobs, too.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Schick, for coming on the County Close-Up. And if you'd like to get more information about the racetrack, Bedford Downs, you can go on their website at www.bedfordracing. I believe it's bedforddownsracing.com. Thanks again so much for coming. And remember to stay tuned for more County Close-Up.
It begins with you and me. If you recycle aluminum cans, we can be made into new cans or other things like lawn furniture.
Same goes for us polyethylene soda bottles. We can be recycled into neat stuff, like T-shirts. Whee!
Gotcha. My buddies never get tired of recycling. We can be made into cool things like soaker hoses.
Oh, we're asking. It's for you to recycle. Hey, baby, reducing reels. One day these rats were playing in the woods. Wanted some matches and that's no good. Listen to smoke before you give it a try.
Only you.
Don't play with matches. Don't play with fire. Cause there's nothing very funny about nothing very nice on a homeless mind. So if a gorgeous force is what you desire, don't play with matches, don't play with fire.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
Fire!
Welcome back to the County Line. Sebastian Driver here with Titan Talent Sports, and the playoffs are here in high school and less than a week away on the college level. Teams battling for playoff positioning, and one of the key matchups on the ladies' side of the President's Athletic Conference, Westminster taking on defending champ W&J. The Lady Titans in control of their own destiny. If they could win out, they'd be assured of the #1 seed. We go to Washington Wednesday night. The Lady Titans, as I said, were really looking for a win in this very, very big game. Two of the best teams in the President's Athletic Conference, and it was a shootout for sure. Both teams very good. We'll go to the video now as Lee Solkowski was one of the better players. She's been injured, in fact, and that made a big difference. There you see her. She's the third leading scorer in the nation, averaging 22.4 points per game, but she may well be out for the rest of the season. Early on, Lady Titans looking sharp. Desiree Sterling on the inside. She gets the hoop in the arm, the three-point play. She finished with double digits, and the Lady Titans at the half putting on a defensive clinic, up 19-15. But in the second half, W&J, they're not the defending conference champs solely because of Solkowski. Lauren Slampack on the inside. She gets two there for part of her game-high 16, and W&J goes on to win. The final score, 59-47. Lady Titans lose a heartbreaker. The Titan men also took a big blow to their postseason hopes with a loss at W&J. Westminster falls 94-79 on the road. Newcastle High product Mark DeMonico led the Titans with 18 points, but Westminster misses out on a golden opportunity to finish first or second and wrap up a first-round bye. Instead, the Titans will host a game Tuesday night in the conference tournament's opening round. We won't know until Saturday exactly who the Titans will play. Moving to high school now, where local teams have been waiting to hear from selection committees in both the Whitfield and District 10 for the last week. Our game of the week takes us to one of the best gyms around, one of the best atmospheres you will find in Lawrence or Mercer County, the home of the Sharon Tigers, and that's where we go to the Tigers Gymnasium in Sharon, Pennsylvania for a matchup against Hickory, two arch-rival teams in District 10, and when we say big-time rivalry, boy, do we mean it. Hickory playing the role of spoiler. They start 4 juniors. They've had a rough campaign, but it would really make their season to beat Sharon. Sharon, on the other hand, looking for back-to-back wins to close out the regular season and hopefully get into the playoffs. Early on, it was all Hickory as Pat O'Rourke knocks down the three-pointer. The Hornets on top, 3-2. More Hickory here as they turn up the pressure defensively. DeLon Bournes loses the handle for Sharon, and Ian Haynes with the steal. He goes coast to coast. Hickory opens up a 5-2 lead on the road, and Sharon was actually forced to call a timeout very early in the first quarter. DeLon Bournes there loses the ball again. Ian Haynes will finish off the pass from Mick Janusko, 10-2 at that point, and at the half, Hickory looked like they were poised for the upset. The Hornets traveled really well. Their fans were just as loud as Sharon's fans. But in the second half, Anthony Scott with the ball, he'll split the two defenders into the paint. The dish to Terry Chernisky. He scores and gives Sharon a 2-point lead, 43-41. And then, with the fans definitely behind them, Sharon's defense would step it up. They knew they needed a win to get into the playoffs. DeLon Bournes with the steal. Bournes will try to go coast to coast. He'll miss it, but his teammates got his back. That's Rashad Lee. His coaches compared Lee to a smaller Charles Barkley, and there he gets it done on the glass, gets a three-point play. Sharon goes on to win 57-47. They would also win Saturday and get themselves a spot in the playoffs. Moving back to Westminster, and swimming probably isn't the sport you'd think of when talking about Westminster's fabled history of athletic accomplishments. However, since joining the PAC, no sport has been more successful than the men's and women's swim teams. Both squads in action at the conference championships this past weekend. Titan Town sports reporter Justin Egley brings us an inside look at the 3-day competition.
Women's teams had similar yet different goals coming into this weekend's championships. Both squads were capable of a first-place finish. However, the ladies were going for a three-peat, while the men were trying to get back the championship Grove City took from them a year ago. Westminster's women's squad had some solid individual showings, highlighted by Megan McLaughlin, who won the 200 backstroke. Other top Lady Titan performers were Amy Wirtz winning the 200 butterfly and freshman Steph Peters capturing the 100 freestyle. McLaughlin and Peters were joined by Sarah Bonchowski and Becky Giles on the victorious 800-meter freestyle relay. Despite the second-place finish, head coach Rob Clement was pleased with his ladies' efforts.
The ladies did equally as awesome. Almost all of them had lifetime best times and just swam a fantastic meet. We were just a little bit outnumbered. Well, not really outnumbered, but it was tough against W&J. They had some very outstanding swimmers there, and we were just a few points shy of taking.
Anxious to recapture the conference title, the men turned out a dominant performance, beating Grove City, the defending pack champ, by nearly 150 points. Josh Hensler was honored as the high point scorer at the Invitational. Other top performers included Pat Smith and Ryan Trump. Coach Clement explains how his men dominated the championship event.
Well, the guys did just fantastic. It was a great meet. Everybody hit lifetime best times, and you can't ask for more than that. And everything just came together great. We won over more than half of the events that were available. We won 3 out of the 5 relays, and it was just kind of a dominating performance.
One of the Titans we just mentioned, Pat Smith, is the feature of a new segment we're calling One-on-One, where our reporters will get to know some of the athletes you read about every day in the newspaper or the internet. It's time to go one-on-one.
I'm Jolene Slattery here with Pat Smith, a sophomore on the Westminster swim team and first place winner of the 200 backstroke at the Packs. So we're going to get up close and personal. Let's start with some background. How long have you been swimming?
I've been swimming since I was in 5th grade back in South Park, Pennsylvania. Started out with swim lessons then and still going now.
And for the Westminster team, what strokes do you normally do?
At PAX I competed in backstroke and IM, and I pretty much can do anything, but backstroke mainly.
So backstroke is your favorite then?
Yeah, it's my favorite. It's probably the one I'm best at, so I'll stick with that.
So for swim team, what do you guys do to bond? I know you said you started practice in September. You spend a lot of time with these people.
Well, when the season starts, we play some games like we play Ultimate Frisbee, we play water polo. As the season goes on, we go to Florida over Christmas break, and that's really a fun time. We're right on the beach. We stay in Tampa, and it's a really good time there. The guys, I know as we get closer to PAX, we all dyed our hair blonde this year. We colored it. We did some crazy shapes. We all shaved our heads, so that was kind of a nice thing. It's all like no one feels bad. Or no one feels left out. Everyone's doing it, so it's a lot nicer that way.
Speaking of the shaving, this is something I know a lot of people want to know. What all do swimmers have to shave?
We shave twice a year for our meet in December and for PAX, and then I guess some people for nationals. But we shave pretty much everything. Put your eyebrows. All the guys shave their heads. Some guys, not any on our team, some on other teams, they wear caps, but. Pretty much everything, So
you get the nice smooth legs going on there.
Feels wonderful.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us, Pat, and hope you have a nice season next year.
Thank you.
Good luck to you, and good luck to the members of the team that are going to nationals.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us for Titan Town Sports. We now kick it back over to the news desk with Pat and Liz.
Thanks, Sebastian. That does it for us tonight.
Make sure that you stay tuned to the Westminster Cable Network because we'll have the rebroadcast of the Sharon Hickory boys basketball game. We'll see you next week.
Have a great night.